Next, we had a chat with the special advisor to the Lagos State Governor on climate change and circular economy, and she shared perspectives on the outcomes of the COP29 summit and how it aligns with the state's climate action plans.
When we had the deal room, we had the pitches, and we were able to corner one of the expression of interest from the EU Africa Chamber of Commerce, and they're more particular about collaborating with us with regards to fostering green finance and also technology transfer based on the portfolio of the business network that we also have cultivated. We have about 500 of those nano micro MSMEs who are already driving commerce within the space of sustainable development. We were galvanized, and we had a good war chest, if I can call that, from our financial banking partners, Access Bank. They also had seen the vision before we left, and they were, very, very keen on working with us. And this is an ongoing partnership right now, based on the fact that they're beginning to work with Lagos State with regards to green bond, and circular economy is one of the pillars through which they want to drive sustainability. So we also had our carbon asset managers, because not only do we want to drive the commerce, but there's also the regenerative finance aspect, where we want to be able to develop competence in capturing data, using those data from a macroeconomics perspective to analyze the sustainable trajectory for Lagos State. The idea for us is not for us to sit on funds. It's not our purpose. So when we saw the output from the negotiation room, what it just says on one end is that it's time for us to start being introspective, building up on our own resources that are available to us, and how can we begin to harness those resources, for our own use. But on the back end, we also know that to access these funds, you must have the right structures, you must have the right tenets, you must be able to capture the necessary data backed by compliance under the provision of the UNFCCC Article 6.4. These are what is needful for you to say that you're structuring yourself as a business. So our partners are engaged on that basis. We engage with them to be able to provide the projects that can help them to drive the Article 6.2 or 6.4 compliance that they require to play in the carbon market. It's great. It's great to negotiate these figures, but it's even greater for us to be able to identify the vehicles that we're going to use to be able to access. And it sits within the space of education. It sits within the space of knowledge. We must improve our knowledge in how to be able to ensure that our projects are touching on what is needful. For instance, it is part of the policy, even when Biden came into office. And one of the things that he mentioned within his plans, within his framework for sustainability, was a clean cooking stove that should, that was to be run in Africa, right? clean cooking stove is almost like a silver bullet, because if we are able to establish clean cook stove, we will address the issue of deforestation. We will address the issue of health that is declining on a daily basis. We will improve the quality of life of our communities. We can also, to a great extent, open up the space for business opportunity, for job employment within that space. There's no way you want to establish or you want to be able to foster resilience if you're not adapting to the shocks, from a global or from a domestic perspective. And instructively, there was a roundtable a few days ago about how we're going to develop and mitigate these shocks that are prevailing upon us. I think that for us to be able to drive this and engender as much, if I can use the word connectivity, or engender as much impact, participation from our communities, then we need to let them know what they stand up against. 2025, if you know the budget, it was called the budget of sustainability. And what it means is that sustainability has become the bedrock of how we can build resilience. Those things that we used to do within a linear economy framework, we need to start to redimension. We need to start to reorientate our minds and understand that resource efficiency is very, very important right now. Minimal waste in processes and systems is really, really critical. Supply chains, even in the area of machinery and equipment, we must become very, very innovative in how we can begin to utilize and basically just help our businesses to be recycle our businesses, recycle our machines, recycle the purpose of the deliverables within our systems as well. Even on a domestic level, our EcoNexus platform presents an opportunity to continuously showcase and drive report and ensure that we're able to get participation from our corporate entities. EcoNexus was designed specially for that, for them to be able to see that what government is bringing to the table is a platform to be able to establish a coalition, of machinery in terms of funding, in terms of resources, in terms of intelligentsia, in terms of innovative solutions, where what we need as a government is to be able to provide that enabling infrastructure for the connectivity between people, community, and the private sector. It is from the private sector that we can get the funding, and that pipeline would have to go into the MSMEs, the nano and the micro MSMEs. And these micro and nano MSMEs are the ones that interface directly with the communities. When they start to, interrogate, or when they start to interact, that exchange creates a burgeoning where the ones that are, scaling are able to see that there are business opportunities. When businesses are able to expand their operations, people get more jobs onto their table. They get food onto their plates. If they are gainfully employed, they develop in skills. We need to drive the essence. We need to position businesses in the communities. It is the businesses that will open up the gateway. They will open up the pipeline. They will drive the commerce, and in driving the commerce, the data can also be captured because they are knowledgeable about that, and it is that data that they then use for regenerative finance.
And that's about it on this week's edition of Green Angle. Until I come your way next time, remember, together we can build a sustainable world. I am Esther Makwariola.